Welcome back to another episode of South Dakota Game Fish and Parks Virtual Outdoors. My name is Jason Nelson, and today we are going to talk about another interesting part of waterfowling tips and tricks in the off-season. We are going to talk about painting decoys and touching up some of our beaten up decoys. Painting decoys can be a really fun and relaxing thing to do in the off-season. Sit in the warm garage or your basement or wherever and just kind of let your artistic touch come on out. You can simply touch up decoys with a little bit of paint, or you can go all out and totally change the species of the decoys that you have. One of the main things that happens over the course of a few years, this is a brand new mallard decoy, is they get really banged up, especially some of the cheaper decoys out there, which are the ones that I tend to purchase more of. They get beat up over the years and the paint starts to come off. Now, if it's just a little bit here and there, personally, I don't really worry about it, but if they really start to get banged up and paint coming off all over, touching them up is a really fun way to add a little more realism and to just give your old decoys some new life. If you are simply going to touch up decoys, all you really need is go to the hardware store, get some of those small cans of whatever color paint you want, and a little tiny craft brush works really well. You can turn a pretty generic decoy into a real work of art with just a little bit of time and a little bit of practice. One thing you are going to want to do is find yourself some reference photos. So find some pictures online of some real life ducks of the species you're after and work off of those. They tend to work really well. What I tend to do is I like to buy cheap mallards and I like to turn them into other species. So I like to turn them into buffleheads, redheads, bluebills, and canvasbacks. So what I have done here is I have taken this decoy and a little reference material and a couple cans of spray paint, and I turn them into canvasbacks. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. But the thing that I always think about is by the time the ducks are close enough to critique your work, hopefully they're close enough to be harvested by you and your hunting partners. There's only a handful of things you need, especially for the diver ducks. Pretty much all diver ducks have some black and some white in them. They may have some gray, and the redheads and the canvasbacks are going to have red or a maroon color on them. I also like to cut out some cardboard cutouts to use kind of as stencils while I'm working. So what I'll do, I will typically take a standard mallard decoy and I will hit it, the whole thing, with primer. Cover up all those bright colors, all the greens, the whites on their sides, and get them to just a drab gray duck. From there, you can really start to accent the pieces you want. For canvasbacks, they've got a black back end, they've got a pretty white top, they've got a black breast, black bill, and a red head. So the way I would go about doing this is take a piece of cardboard, cut it to match how your decoys look. Might grab a buddy, or sawhorses work really well for this, and start covering up the pieces where you'd want to hit. So right there, I would paint all of that maroon. When it's time to paint the bill and the breast, luckily, are the same color. I would cover up the head and spray there. I would do the same thing on the back of the head, paint his whole back half of his body white, and then just spray his undercarriage in the back end black. It's pretty quick, pretty easy. I do notice that when I'm using just good old rattle cans, they don't last forever, so the touch-up process seems to happen more frequently, but it is something really fun to do. Here I have an old canvasback I painted years and years ago, and here's a bluebill. Bluebills are some of the easiest. They are pretty much black and gray, or you could even get away with black and white, kind of like an Oreo. I like to put a little gray on the tops of their wings and a little gray on their bills. Again, you can This can be as artistic as you want. If you are